Well, no matter where the Orioles go, fans turn out here in Seattle. How about the actor Thomas Sadoski, who's a big star on the HBO show The Newsroom and a big Oriole fan? Now, are you a better actor or a better baseball fan?
Much to my chagrin, I think I'm a better baseball fan. I think my career would be a lot further along if I was as capable in my job as I am at rooting for the O's. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed being around the team all these years is that when people come in from other professions, all the allegiances switch. When actors come, they want to be ball players, and when ball players meet actors, they go, "Wow, I wish I could do that."
Yeah. It's crazy how that works out, isn't it? And musicians just want to be everybody, and everybody wants to be musicians. It's just sort of the way it works out.
All right, your wife Kimberly is from Baltimore, so you have a connection there, but you were born in Connecticut, raised a little bit in Texas.
Yep.
Where was your first allegiance? How did you get to the Orioles?
Well, I tell you what, man, my family were sort of split right down the middle between Yankee fans and Red Sox fans, and I wanted nothing to do with either one of those guys, and so I fell in love with the game. Growing up in Texas, I fell in love with the game, and when Cal was making his run, I mean, after the strike, he was the classiest thing that was happening in baseball, and I loved the game, and he was everything that was great about it. I fell in love with watching him, watching the streak, watching him pursue that, and that was it. I was hooked, and I had the great fortune of meeting a beautiful Baltimore woman, Baltimorean, and I got hooked up with my amazing in-laws, the Reverend Dr. Charles Woolston, who's the Vice Provost of University of Maryland in Baltimore County, and his beautiful wife Bonnie, my mother-in-law, and all those guys that I know and love in Baltimore, and they just showed me around, fell in love with the city immediately, and the O's right away. So it was on from there 15, 16 years ago.
All right, the baseball fraternity is definitely small. The acting fraternity, I guess, the same. Now, you're good friends with Josh Charles, who's from Baltimore. He probably would argue he's a bigger Oriole fan than you.
I think that is undeniable, but only because of blood. Only because of it's just the circumstances of the location of his birth. That's it. But when we get together and we start, rooting for the Ravens and the O's, and we start, texting back and forth and sitting together watching games, I think anyone would be hard pressed to figure out who is the biggest fan between the two of us. I lay that gauntlet down for Mr. Charles, and we'll see what he chooses to do with it.
All right, this is obviously a very good team. They're in first place as we speak. As you follow the Orioles, who's your favorite player? Who do you like to watch to keep up with?
Oh man, that's impossible. How do you choose? I've been a huge fan of Markakis since he came into the league. I think that just at the level of consistency and the sort of way that he just goes about doing his job is admirable. Reminds me a lot of the old school grinders, that just plays the game in a consistent way, keeps his mouth shut, and just does his thing. Love Adam Jones. Love all of them. I mean, we used to go down and watch Manny play. When he first came up, we were going down to Aberdeen and watching him play, and the kid's unbelievable. He's jaw-droppingly brilliant over there, and. So it's impossible. It's hard to pick just one. I love this team. I think they got a great makeup, and I love having Buck Showalter manage him. He's a great guy.
It's pretty amazing. We know you're a real fan if you actually admitted buying tickets to go to an Aberdeen game. I mean, that's where it all begins, the New York Penn League. So you really sold yourself there, because that's correct. Now, about your show, The Newsroom, you're done shooting, filming, whatever is the business term.
Yeah.
Why, after 3 years, are they going to end such a great show?
We have one guy writing all the words, and I think that he just sort of flamed out after a while. It gets it's exhausting for me doing what I do, which is nothing compared to what he has to do. I have the easiest job in the world. He has a really tough job, and I think he told the story he wanted to tell, and he's done. He's moving on to other things, and so we all are. It's sad to see it go. I loved being a part of it, but there's greener pastures out there. There's a lot of great stuff coming up, and we'll see.
Well, and who knows? I mean, this way you may be free for October, and if the Orioles are in the postseason, which they hope to and expect to be, you could be right there watching.
I'm hopeful. I won't go so far as to jinx anybody, but I will say that it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to not find Josh and I sitting somewhere in Camden should we be playing baseball in October. I think that that's a very real possibility.